Good evening and welcome to your daily live show, Hala Ramadan. My name is Farah Halali and I'll be your host for this evening. Today's episode is ever so special because we have dear guests talking about a very interesting topic along with numerous reports covering the latest events and activities happening here in Kuwait. So let's start off with our first report, which is the Minister of Interior segment.
Good evening, dear viewers, and welcome to the Ministry of Interior segment. And today we will talk about the Ministry of Interior's efforts to minimize the traffic accidents rate. More details in the coming report. Dramatic increase in human, social, and economic losses as a result of the hike in the number of accidents in Kuwait. The figures in 2019 are tragic. Over 400 people died in traffic accidents, and recent statistics of the General Department of Traffic indicate that traffic accidents and violations recorded were related to crossing of red signals, use of mobile phones, recklessness and lack of responsible behavior, and excesses of speeding was top to the causes of the accidents that lead to death. Traffic safety doesn't happen by chance. Prevention is more significant than cure. That's why the Ministry of Interior seeks to reduce the accidents rate by using the largest number of speed cameras and latest smart police patrols that connected with control room to achieve the security. In addition to deploy the officials in various locations to enforce the law that aims to reduce the traffic accidents. Intensive efforts by the Ministry of Interior to instill a better driving culture to help in eliminating the underlying causes of the accidents through media campaigns which highlighted the need to exercise caution while driving and abide by the traffic rules to protect the life and property of people. In addition to the awareness comprehensive campaigns directed to students at different levels of education through lectures that carry the most important traffic and security materials that can contribute in building up an educated generation. I'm First Lieutenant Sarah Faidoun. Thank you for watching. More news and updates next week in the Ministry of Interior segment. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. That was the segment on the Ministry of Information. Now we're going to cut to another report, which is the Grand Mosque. So let's check it out together. Welcome back. I'm here with our dear guest, l.shawn.mckoy. He's the admin at the Grand Mosque. Hello and welcome to our show for this evening.
How are you?
It's a pleasure to have you here. And tonight we're going to be discussing a very interesting topic because the Grand Mosque is going to be very packed during the upcoming 10 days and starting from yesterday and today, of course. Can you tell us more about the tours that happen and how is everything scheduled, especially for those days that are considered to be the most packed during the whole year?
Wow. Me, myself, I work in the activities and visitors section. And we give tours in Arabic, English, and French. A lot of the visitors, they come, they set up appointments on, we have a Facebook account where they send me messages. Or a lot of them just, surprisingly, just take a vacation and come to Kuwait. And we're number 2 on TripAdvisor as far as things to do and see in Kuwait. And they come to the Grand Mosque and, we set them up and give them a tour.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And you say it's in different languages as well, so everyone that does not speak Arabic will be able to do it in English, and especially for those that are French speakers would be able to enjoy it as well. So can you tell us more about what you do in the tour, because there is like a pre-talk before the tour and then there is the tour itself, and then there is something even more interesting after the tour where there's different discussions that if people are interested to come back more and to learn more about maybe Islam as well. So can you tell us about that?
Sure. Once the visitor arrives, our security apparatus, they'll escort them to our Diwania area or our waiting area, gathering area. That's when we start giving them dawah. Why? Because the receptionist greets them. We offer them refreshments, sweets, Arabic coffee, tea, things like that to make them calm down, because a lot of visitors come with the preconceived notion that Islam is what they see on the media. So when they see that, how warm we are, how welcoming we are, they relax. We have brochures, we have books, all free for them to take and read about Islam for themselves, not just us coming and preaching. They read it on their own. So the receptionist, she'll call the different departments, whether they're English speakers, French speakers, or Arabic speakers, and someone will come and assist the visitors. Now, once we get there, what we try to do is, if they're non-Muslims, we try to ask them, questions like, well, what do you think about Islam? What have you heard? What's the misconceptions? Why? Because after the tour, after we finish showing them the campus of the Grand Mosque, we want to target those individuals because they'll go back to their country or their area and they'll tell other people. So, it's like a chain, a chain dawah, So, that's the beauty of what we do,
Very interesting. And earlier tonight, you were telling me that people would approach you thinking that you are Kuwaiti because you look very Kuwaiti, especially in the Dishdashan, Qatra Nagal. That was something that I thought as well. But as soon as they speak with you, they realize that you're not from here, but you love it here and you're doing so well. So can you tell us more about your experience? Because you've been here for 2 years and you yourself started off with a different background and then converted to Islam. And maybe that is easier for people with different backgrounds to maybe relate to you and understand more.
It is, and that's one of the benefits of me working in the visitor section, because when I come, they look and they, another, Arab or Kuwaiti person going to give us a tour. And then when I say, how are you guys doing? And they hear, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You're either a Kuwaiti that grew up in America or you're American. I say, well, I'm American,
Yeah.
And I say, and I used to be a Christian and now I'm a Muslim. When I say those words, you can see, they just become so relaxed. And then before the tour even starts, they're asking me questions. I say, well, let's go on the tour, let you see the Grand Mosque, and then you can ask as many questions as you want. So, that's one of the things that I love, being able to, share my past experience, I've been in Kuwait about almost 10 years and two years working at the Grand Mosque. So, you know, the experiences of, you know, knowing the Bible, because I grew up in a very, you know, religious Christian household.
Oh, okay.
You know, I even went to a Bible college to study the Bible. So, you know, when I converted or reverted to Islam and became a Muslim, you know, I can relate to some of the questions that they have, you know, some of the things they want to ask, but they seem a little timid or afraid to ask. So, you know, I tell them, hey, look, I know you're thinking about this. Go ahead and ask. They say, yeah, how did you know? I say, I was once a Christian. I had all these same questions that you have. So most of the times, I don't even get to show them the entire Grand Mosque because they're asking so many questions.
Yeah.
And, you know, I love that portion of, you know, giving the tour.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course, they're going to be very curious. And that brings me to my next question, because I myself am very curious as well. Can you tell us more about the turning point that you had? Because as you said, it's very similar, like Christianity and Islam, it's somewhat the same, because all religions are aiming for the same thing,
True.
world peace and connecting with the divine and our God.
Exactly.
So what was the turning point that you had that made you feel that Islam is the path that you will continue on?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I wasn't always a fan of, you know, of Islam.
And as you said, the media is not portraying Islam in a very good way, especially right now.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's you know, and that's one of the things that made me not like Islam. I had a lot of family members from New York. So when 9/11 happened, naturally, I was in Korea at the time. And I'm trying to call my family, and all the lines were jammed. So it took 2 weeks for me to hear anything about, you know, my family's okay or not okay.
Yeah.
So after that, you know, honestly, you know, I had a deep resentment for Islam. And then when I went to Iraq, an Iraqi person, they had the burn barrels where they were making Iraqi bread.
Yeah.
And they didn't have fresh, clean water. But we as soldiers, we had clean water.
Yeah.
So I was trading, you know, Iraqi bread for water.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, these Muslims, they aren't as bad as the television portrayed them to be. So after a while, after, you know, we established a relationship, they started to put meat on the bread, you know, and pass it to me. So I was like, I ate. I was like, nothing, no problem.
Yeah.
So that opened my eyes to, you know, media versus actually knowing a Muslim. And once I got to know them and I went back to America, you know, I started to study. I said, well, I want to know more personally about this religion called Islam. And in 2010, I came to Kuwait with the sole intention of being a Muslim.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that's just an inspiring story, especially now in Ramadan and the last 10 days.
Yes, very special, yes.
Thank you so much for sharing it
You're
with
welcome.
us. Now it brings me also to the next question, which is, you said the last section of the tour, people would ask. They would ask you so many questions. They're curious to know, especially for those that would love to know more about Islam and Muslims. And as you said, the media is not doing a great job maybe at the moment. So for them, you would be able to answer some of the questions, but maybe they still come back for more questions. Would you be able to help them out, especially in the Grand Mosque? Or would you tell them to just go do their own research and maybe give them a couple of books to read or listen to certain sheikhs and their talks?
Well, you know, me, the type of person that I am, I don't want to send anybody away like that. So we have a list, and we, you know, they have the option if they want. It's entirely up to them to write their name and their phone number. And we can contact them. You know, social media now, it makes reaching out to another country very easy. So, you know, we can take their WhatsApp number and send them messages and stuff over WhatsApp. Also at the Grand Mosque, we don't only have activities and visitors. We have a section for dawah. We have a section for teaching the Quran. We have an Islam presentation center. my center, the Western Perception of Islam Center. So, you know, once we get his information, his or her information, we reach out to them, you know, because that one person, they could go back and they could say, oh, I visited the Grand Mosque and, you know, those Muslims weren't kind to me. They didn't teach me about Islam. So we don't want anybody to visit the Grand Mosque and go back and have a negative experience. You know, we want them to have the ultimate experience.
It sounds like a very positive experience, especially because there's different departments, different sections, different things for them to do. When it comes to the tours themselves, is it just for non-Muslims, or is it open to everyone that is just keen to go and have a tour in the Grand Mosque?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, because it's open for anyone. Surprisingly, we have a lot of visitors from Saudi Arabia. You know, they visit the Grand Mosque and then they go to the Mubarakiyah.
Okay.
Oman. You know, I've taken a person, a Muslim from China and Japan.
Yeah.
So they come from all over the world, you know, and one of the things that we do at the tourism section is whenever they come, we try to, you know, write down their nationality just to keep a list of where all these people coming from, because of course we report that higher up in the ministry, but we like to keep a, you know, a log in a spreadsheet. Okay, we had, you know, maybe 100 visitors from just, you know, Saudi Arabia, you know, so, you know, that makes us feel good. At the end of the month, we have like a small competition amongst the employees who took the most tours.
Yeah.
So, you know, somebody say, oh, yeah, I took, you know, 50 people from Saudi Arabia, and the next person only took 10. Like, hey, what's you know, what's going on?
It's
you know?
a very good type of competition.
Exactly. You know, it's a positive type of, you know, push, competition, and motivation between.
Very nice. Now, during the whole year, we know that Ramadan tends to be the most packed of days, and people would come and visit the Grand Mosque. But what other months during the year is it that a lot of people would come do their prayers, or even maybe visitors, because maybe they have a certain season that a lot of people would come to visit? Yeah,
our most busiest seasons are from October till around April. Why? Because the weather in Kuwait is, you know, is very good that time. You know, after April, we're not getting too many visitors. But the thing about the month of Ramadan, we don't take tour visitors. We just get, you know, Muslim visitors for the prayers. You know, during the months from October till about April, we average about 150, you know, visitors per month. So, you know, that's you know,
that's a very high
robust,
number.
yes,
Yeah, very
exactly.
good.
You know, and you know, like I said, we try to keep the motivation between the employees. You know, as far as, you know, reaching out. You know, I manage the Facebook account, so I'm always sending messages, taking pictures of the tours. So whenever they go back, they can, you know, go to the Facebook page and they're like, oh yeah, that's when I visited the Grand Mosque.
Earlier today, we saw a report covering how beautiful the mosque is. It's very big. It's one of the biggest in the world, and different sections look even better and better, like with the different places. So can you tell us more about the mosque itself?
Well, the Grand Mosque of Kuwait is the 8th largest mosque in the world. So, you know, it's a pretty large mosque. We can accommodate about 65,000 worshipers there. We have 3 main prayer halls. The main prayer hall can accommodate about 11,000 worshipers. We have a female section that can accommodate about 1,000. And we have another outside patio area that's the same size as the main prayer hall. So we can get another 11,000. Surprisingly, we have a movie theater at the Grand Mosque where we, you know, give lectures and courses, and we play videos for the new Muslims and things like that. So when we give a tour and I take them into the movie theater, capacity is about 150 people, and they're shocked and surprised, like, why do you guys have a movie theater at the Grand Mosque? You know?
Yeah, I never knew that.
Yeah.
I just figured that out now.
No,
That's very impressive, very interesting.
Yes, we have all of that. And one of the 2 great points about the Grand Mosque One, we have the Amir's room. So when the visitors visit the Grand Mosque, they get a chance to go in and sit in the room of the ruler of Kuwait. You know, not many other mosques can say that. And the second thing is, for the visitors that are non-Muslim, we offer a space in the back of the prayer hall for them to watch, us pray. Of course, no photos and video, but they can see with their eyes exactly what the Muslim prayer is about, exactly what the imam is saying. Because, in the media, the Western media, when they hear the Allahu Akbar, they tend to get frightened. So
of course,
we bring them in. They watch their prayer. They hear Allahu Akbar many times. So, and they see, this is not what the media has portrayed it. So that's one of the things that I like, for them to be able to watch us pray, so.
And at the moment, are there any lectures in English? Because as you said, there are lectures that the Imam would give out, and normally that's in Arabic, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But are there some lectures that can be done in English and French, maybe?
Sure. We just, 2 weeks ago, we just had the first Army Imam in the United States Army. He came all the way from America, and he gave a lecture about Islam in America. So those are things the activities department do. They schedule lectures, all different various types of activities. Mufti Mink was supposed to come here to Kuwait, so a lot of non-Arab Muslims, they know Mufti Mink, and when Dr. Khalid Shabazz, the American Muslim Imam, when he visited, we had a very big turnout of 100+ people there. So
wow, that's very impressive.
Yeah.
And if people want to know more about those events and activities, what account do they follow? Is it the Facebook account or social media through Instagram? How could they know and keep themselves updated?
Well, the Instagram account for the Grand Mosque, we actually have a media section at the Grand Mosque.
Okay.
So, everything is sent to the media section, and they post different lectures, whether they be in English, Arabic, or French. They post them on the Instagram. So just to let people know, follow the Grand Mosque at Kuwait, the Instagram, and any information that you want to know about the Grand Mosque, is there readily available.
Very interesting.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here tonight with us. Do you have any last words to share with our dear audience?
Please visit the Grand Mosque. If you are, an Arab family and you have a, a maid or something, and you want them to, understand Islam, take a day and bring them out to the Grand Mosque, and we can educate them. If you have any non-Muslim friends that you work with in your work areas, invite them out to the Grand Mosque, so we can give them some dawah.
Yeah. Thank you so much on the tremendous work you're doing, and your colleagues as well, so thank you so much.
You're also welcome.
We're going to cut to our third report, which is the annual Ramadan Qabqa at Bayt al-Atman. So let's check it out together. Welcome back. That was the annual Ghabka for the Beit al-Uthman. And we're going to cut to our fourth report, which is about the Kuwait Blinds Association. So make sure you stay tuned.
Mansour Al-Anazi, Secretary General in Kuwait Blind Association. Today we are in the avenues. We are organizing a donation event for the blinds, for the Kuwaiti blinds, and this events include 3 projects. One of them printing the Holy Quran in Braille way for the blind people, and the second is organizing a visit to Mecca for Umrah. And the third one is the care of the students. We are going to print out all the curriculums in Braille methods for students in universities or different stages. Thanks a lot for Kuwait TV for this opportunity to talk to the audience.
My name is Fahad Al-Inisi. I am a manager of public relations in Kuwait Association of the Blind. First of all, we organized this activity to invite all people to support blind people to translate the Holy Quran to Braille lines. Also, we need our supports for blind people to take equipment that help him to complete their studies in the university and masters also. Thirdly, we plan to organize a trip to Mecca to do Umrah for 200 blind people. So we invite all people to help blind people to succeed this activity.
Welcome back. We've got our last report, which is a seminar titled by My Rights is in My Laws. So let's check it out together.
I'm so pleased today. I'm so happy to highlight the special needs case in my forum in ملتقى نجلاء النقي الثقافي in نجلاء النقي forum because such a people they need their help. They need their big support from all of us, no matter who we are, whether we are government, private sector, whether we are individuals. They need a big help. So today we're going to hold a lecture from the special needs parents and some other also. You can see the special needs themselves. They have attended today to. They have a big pain in their heart. They have a lot to say, so we're all here today to highlight their big case, and we have to listen carefully to what are they really suffering from and what exactly they need. So bless you all. Thank you very much, Mrs. Najla. Thank you for Kuwait TV and Qanat al-Kuwait for attending tonight to highlight such a very valuable event because they are part of us. They are citizens, they suffer, so once you see any citizen that's suffering, we all do suffer a lot. Thank you ever so much, and Ramadan Kareem.
Welcome back. It is so sad we've reached the end of tonight's show. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and found all the reports along with the interview very useful. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Make sure you tune in tomorrow at the same time.